he saw it. He believed it before a lot of us even saw it. 13, 14, 15, 16 is when we started seeing what Virat saw and Virat spoke about in 2009. I don't think he was the best man manager. Culturally, we're vastly different people. At 21, I thought, okay, that's it. That's my international career. Thank you very much. I'm done. Mahi hated long meetings. Right? 10 minutes is a meeting too long. I actually went to Mahi myself and I said, dude, I have to bowl. Bro, I have to bowl. Maybe that was the beginning of the genius that Mahi was as a captain. I don't know. But yeah, my job was to just kind of feed him strike and let him do his magic. And I think the best thing that happened to KKR since Gautam Gambhir left KKR was him coming back.
What a pleasure it is to me to talk about the next episode of Unwind with a man who likes the word flamboyant to describe himself most. I did my research all right, and I'm starstruck for the next 45 minutes or so because I'm talking about one of Karnataka's finest, one of India's finest. This man has played for those 30 teams, but now he's taken like duck to water to broadcast. I'm talking about our very own Robin Uthappa. Robbie, how's that for an introduction, mate?
Good, man. Thank you so much. As in, I appreciate the introduction. It's a very sweet one.
We'll start really randomly in terms of my first memory of you, because it was me and my dad watching the game 2007 when you did the unthinkable, not just those French cuts, but of course walking down Stuart Road and that rank shot. And it was just such a Karnataka moment. And I'm a Bangalore boy, right, Robbie? So I'm looking at you hitting that rank shot, doing that, which just gave me such goosebumps at the time. I still look at the clip all those years ago and it still does. And what's more is that Venki sir and Rao was celebrating like mad.
Yeah.
Well, it was just like Karnataka India moment, like my best moment in terms of watching cricket as a boy. So just take me with that. We'll start with that, because was that your claim to fame, do you feel?
I think I started getting noticed when I played that Challenger Trophy back in 2005. Growing up, I was perhaps a little too aggressive for my own age in my age group. We were playing the Karnataka State Under 17 Districts tournament, and I had an incredible tournament. I had scored some 800 runs in some 6-7 games. I was the captain of my side, and the finals of the tournament, I scored a triple hundred. And I get called to the selector's house. He calls me home and he tells me, I'm not going to select you in the state team. And he calls my dad and me, and we were like, why? And then he said, no, you're too aggressive. All the parents have a problem with you because you're too aggressive as a player. So I would have thought of that. I was like, in my head at that point, I was like, isn't that a good thing that you've got an aggressive kind of young batter? Subsequently, the following year, by the same selector, I was dropped from the Karnataka state team. And I, in fact, stopped playing cricket after my 10th standard because I was like, okay, it's a kind of pivotal year where you can either pivot towards, education, or you can pivot towards cricket. And I was like, okay, I can't deal with the bureaucracy, and it's too much for my young brain with everything that I already had going through my life. So like maybe I'll just study and do something on my own. And then my father who spoke to me, because I got multiple calls from this. Today I call him like one of my father figures in life, Makarand Vaingankar. He kept calling me because he came and set up the Karnataka State Cricket Academy in Bangalore and then started the TRDO system in India when I was in Coog after the holidays. So he kept calling me there. He called me once, he called me twice, and I said both times, I said, sir, I'm not interested, sir. I don't want to play cricket anymore. I knew who he was. I interacted with him once or twice by then. And he said, no, you have to come. It'll be good. It'll be different this time. And I said, no, sir, I don't want to deal with it. And eventually, I think one of the times he called, he got hold of my father. So my dad spoke to me after that. My mom and dad sat me down. My dad said to me, if not for all that you've done from the age of 8, at least for the talent that God's blessed you with, why don't you go and give it another shot? But he said, this time when you're doing it, make sure you do it right. In that, I went back and joined the Karnataka State Academy. Suddenly, Dilip Benzarkar sees me, calls me in. He's impressed with how I batted at that point in time. And he's head of the TRDO system. And so he tells me to come up for a match. So Karnataka players, 1 or 2 Karnataka players would play the NCA under 19 matches. So I played an NCA under 19 match. I was made to play a match that they were playing. And then as a 15-year-old, I went and scored a 90 odd against some of my current like teammates and all that I played a lot of my cricket with. And Dilip Benzog was super impressed. And then subsequently, a month or two later, there was under 17 India selections. So they pushed my name in the under 17 India selections. And then I impressed the selectors there also, I suppose. And then I got selected for the under 17 India side. I went and played the Asia Cup in 2003. Raidu was our captain, Suresh Raina vice captain, RP Singh, Irfan Pathan, Raifi Vincent Gomez, Piyush Chawla, you name it, Faiz Fazal, VRV Singh, uh, all of us played together, you know. And I think knowingly or clearly unknowingly, I exercised the art of manifestation as a young kid. I would visualize batting alongside Rahul Dravid, batting alongside Sachin Tendulkar, building partnerships, playing test matches, one day matches. And as you would have it, my first match, I opened the batting for India. And who am I opening the batting with? My state captain, school senior. I opened the batting with him. He put on 160 runs for the first wicket, and I was living my dream.
Here you are playing for India, and it's kind of maybe caught you by the storm a little bit in a good way. You bedazzled everyone in the debut, like you just mentioned. I think it's still a record of some sort, 86 against England. And then the following year, the 2007 World Cup happened. We talk about the debacle in the ODI World Cup, but the T20 World Cup, and you started. Let's, of course, fast forward to that bit because I have to, of course, doff my hat to you when you did that gesture for the bowler. So, talk to me about the bowler, Durban, and everything about that tournament.
That tournament was surreal, to be very honest. We honestly didn't know what we achieved while we achieved it. At least as a 21-year-old who saw the pits of the debacle in the 2007 Cricket World Cup in West Indies and came back. And at 21, I thought, okay, that's it. That's my international career. Thank you very much. I'm done. Because I didn't perform well in that World Cup. But for whatever reason, none of us really performed that well outside of that Bermuda game. And me, I didn't perform even in that Bermuda game. All that happened in that Bermuda game, what I'm remembered for is that liver or catch, man. So it was all over the shop, to be very honest.
That telling image, I think in the last group game when we got out, and we'll, of course, now that you brought it up, we'll just finish off that Caribbean disaster. But that telling image of Sachin, Saurav, Rahul, you guys say about just, I don't know, what's the word, dejection, if that's right, to put it that way, on that balcony that afternoon?
It was relegation.
Yeah.
It wasn't healthy. And when that bell was rung, I think Indian cricket kind of took stock of itself in a lot of ways.
But was it because of the coach at the time? Because obviously his name still till today doesn't reverberate well around cricketing circles, at least in this part of the world.
And yeah, not in this part of the world. I think he's respected a lot. I think Greg's respected a lot in Australia. Someone who's got omens of knowledge about the game of cricket and batsmanship and batting. I don't think he was the best man manager. Culturally, we're vastly different people. I don't really think personally that foreign coaches will work in India. The only person who made it work was Gary Kirsten and Duncan Fletcher to an extent. But Gary, by nature, Gary is someone who likes to serve people. I can safely say that in the tenure that Gary had here in Indian cricket, I don't think anyone threw more balls down to cricketers than Gary Kirsten did. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw more than 100,000 balls down to Indian cricketers in that time when he was a coach.
Were you ever surprised at times where how you mentioned it right now, man management of those legends? Be like, 1 second, how could he talk to him like that? I mean, then I should really watch my back. So was there ever that sense of apprehension as a youngster at that point in time from you saying, you can't talk to Sachin like that, you can't talk to Dada like that. We respect him and I respect you, but there has to be a line drawn here, surely.
I perhaps was too young, and like I said, my self awareness at that point in time wasn't that much. And I think, like I said, life happened to me more than me making life happen for me. So I probably wasn't even aware of a lot of things that was going on with the names that were playing at that point in time. As in, I consider myself extremely blessed to have played for India and opened the batting for India and won a World Cup for India in a generation such as that. That's the kind of
Which
stuff
was
he
the
did.
first game you went? Which was the first game you went and saw live as a boy at the Chinnaswamy, I presume?
The India-Pakistan game in 1996. I don't know how my
Oh,
dad landed those tickets, but yeah, so that was my first game, and so I saw that live. I saw the whole altercation live. I went mad. The stadium went mad. Like literally, the stadium was reverberating that evening when Venki got Amir Sohail out, and man, was it incredible!
it was incredible. Let's just, of course, rewind then and fast forward rather than that 2007 year because so much happened. It was like a roller coaster. The bowl out, we'll start there and then talk to me up to the point where you ran out Imran Nazir, and then, of course, the rest is history. So much to take in from a Robin Uthappa perspective, but even from a Team India perspective, it was just unfolding in front of our eyes. It was just mad in a format which was brand new to the world, at least India.
Yeah, a format that was actually foreign to us. Like we were figuring it on the fly, to be honest. And one of the things I think, and I think I've said this all the time in multiple interviews I've done about the World Cup. One of the things that was constantly spoken about was, and Mahi hated long meetings. Right? His meetings they might last 10 minutes is a meeting too long. I think the longest we've possibly been in a meeting is 12 minutes, maybe. Like anything we
No.
had to ask him would be in person because he was really approachable in that sense. When Mahi was handed over captaincy, he wasn't necessarily a senior. He was on the way to become a senior in the Indian team. And that's when captaincy landed on him. And took to it like a duck to water, man. He was
Insane, right? But again, coming back to that first game, how important was it to kind of set context for the rest of the tournament and get the ball rolling?
Oh, well, so first game got washed out. Scotland got washed out, which was essentially all of our debuts. Second game, Pakistan, man. We were all pumped up, and the thought was always there at the back of the head that we've never lost to them in the World Cups, and we were feeling it. Mohammad Asif gave us the chills for a bit there. To lose Virubai, Gothi, DK, and UV. And then when Mahi came to bat, we were like, you know what? Let's just battle 10 overs. Let's see what happens till then. Let's run well and let's battle 10 overs. And that's what we try to do. Just stitch a partnership. Just rotate the strike as often as possible. And it's beautiful when you let your instincts take over and you just kind of stay in the present, the magic that happens. In that time, I was in the zone. I was batting well. Wanted to get the team to a good start. And then that rain interrupted us. And I'm horrible. I'm actually horrible after breaks. Every time I took a break, I consciously made sure that first over I rotated the strike well, just got off, just got back in the groove, get the blood flowing again, get the mind realigned again. And that caused my demise that day because it was a proper rain break. We were off for like 15-20 minutes, and then Mahi batted out of the skin with Irfan as well, stitched up a partnership. Somehow got us up to 150, 158, I think. And Sri started well, RP started well. And then the way Sri ended, man, that last over.
Man.
Dude, that was something. That guy, I'm telling you, that guy is genius. I think Srishant is genius.
And who decided who's going to bowl in the bowler, Robbie? Were you like shitting breaks before bowling that ball?
No, actually, I was actually super confident. I actually went to Mahi myself and I said, dude, I have to bowl. Bro, I have to bowl. And he just looked at me. For like a second. He said, okay, cool, you bowl. And in hindsight, maybe that was the beginning of the genius that Mahi was as a captain. I don't know. I'm not going to take credit for all of that, but the same guy I met in 2004, 20 years later, nothing has changed. And we had some form of a cake cutting and had some drinks flowing after we won the World Cup at the hotel itself, but we didn't have any party, so to speak. The time we spent together as mates, as teammates, I think that is this. There are some memories I'll take to my grave. The meals that Mahi, Irfan, Piyush, RP, and I had together, those meals, those conversations, man, I'll take that to my grave. Again, culturally, again, very different. People come from different ethoses as well, right? Like, um, Mahi wouldn't have, to this day, struggles to have anything besides chicken. He can tolerate like mutton, and Irfan, would eat every meat but pork, obviously. Um, and none of the North Indian boys ate pork. So,
But back
or
when you
beef.
were playing cricket, were any of these guys conscious about what they were putting in their tummy? Like, say, what Virat does today, where it's chiseled in terms of a menu, veganism, and all that?
No,
No.
no, no, not
So
at
just
all. Nothing whatsoever. Well, we ate everything. We didn't overdo stuff. Like we ate everything, but we were like conscientious about what we like, kind of put in our mouth. I think the fitness kind of culture kind of kicked in post 2010s, like in a big way. Not fitness. I'm sorry, not fitness, but nutrition kicked in post 2010, 2012. Before that, nutrition wasn't even a point of contention, conversation at all. So our lives are very different when you're playing the IPL, right? Because people think that you play a game and then you finish and then you can go to sleep. You can't. You're wired, so you'll be awake for the next 2 or 3 hours, whether you like it or not. I've seldom come across anyone who said that I come back and I go to sleep as soon as I come back to the room. Doesn't happen. They will be up till for the next 3 4 hours at least, because your mind's working because of everything that's happened and transpired in the game. As a player, you're figuring out, okay, based what went well, what didn't go well, what are the things you can do better, what do you need to focus on at this point in time so that you can take care of tomorrow's better for you, you recover well. So there are multiple things that go on, but as far as nutrition is concerned, I think as time went on, you got better. So you generally would, like, if you got out early, you got a first ball, you come back, like you kind of eat your sorrows out. And then you just hope the 20 overs go past quickly and then get to work. So you either have a meal after you get out, or you have a meal after the match. You catch up with the boys.
now you're a family man, right? But if you rewind the clock, even yourself, or if you look at the current cricketers right now, who are 21, 22, and they might not even have a girlfriend, is it difficult for them? Because sometimes you
Yeah,
might want
man.
to deep down to the bar, there might be like the odd girl there which catches your eye, and you might not be honey trapped essentially, but you open a chat, I'm sure.
You can't do any of that now. We don't
Really?
live in a world. Yeah, I can't imagine the players doing that now. And also,
But in
you
the
have
first
to understand that at
sorry,
that
sorry,
point
sorry. But
when
in the first 3 years of your IPL
correct,
career, it was nuts, right? Because you saw the Ambani lifestyle, but then followed by the Malia lifestyle. And Lalit Modi dispersed.
yeah. The Ambani lifestyle wasn't. We didn't have too many parties in the first year. There wasn't too many parties. We seldom even hung out as a team post the game. When I got to RCB, the first year was in South Africa, so I was finding my feet. I was probably I was going not good mental health wise. I wasn't in the greatest place, so I didn't get out too much. In 2010, I got out quite a bit. There was a pretty decent party scene. You have to understand that at this point, the after parties were monetized, right? So it was a source of income for the franchises, a legitimate source of income for the franchises. For it goes into their books, right? So it was something that we had to even turn up to, right? It was required, and we had signed the agreement for it as well, that we would turn up for multiple team events and whatever team events that were there. We had to even show face a lot of times, and we would show face.
That's insane. Just coming back to your cricket excellence, do you have any regrets in the IPL? How do you reflect on your IPL career? Because, man, you're a veteran and you're just appreciated in every fan circle. Do you almost think you're like the perfect IPL fan cricketer that way, where you're getting plaudits from RCB fans, MI, CSK, KKR, RR even?
I don't know. I think KKR would beg to differ with you because of my exit from KKR. But I love the KKR fans. As in, my two favorite franchises have always been KKR and CSK. And it's not like I didn't have a great time at the other franchises. It's just that the memories I was able to create with the group of people that we had in these two franchises was incredible. It's unfortunate how things turned out. People think I was sour because captaincy was given to me. It had nothing to do with that, unfortunately. Uh, it's unfortunate that people think that, but I can't change how people think. But I know what it was, genuinely. Those last 2 years were tenacious for me. And if you see the kind of decisions that KKR in those subsequent years, say even with the letting go of a Shubman Gill, happened. For me, that is mismanagement. I mean, how do you leave a player of that caliber out? Um, some of the things just didn't make sense. And I think the best thing that happened to KKR since Gautam Gambhir left KKR was him coming back. If I can serve that franchise in any way, I'll happily serve that franchise, and I'll serve CSK any day, every day of the week.
If MS or Gothi called you and been like, listen, I know you're doing commentary, Robin, but would you be interested to work with our backroom staff? Because KKR and CSK also have sister franchisees. Point being, would you look at that particular avenue, or you content be like, hey, broadcast is my cup of tea and I'm not
No. As in, I think I'm too young for broadcast actually now. I still have a lot of cricket left in me. If I can add value.
You put the SC20 auction as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah. The SC20 is in the MLC, in the ILT20. I had a deal with the ILT20 for 3 years. Unfortunately, for some reason, it fell through with Delhi Capitals, Dubai Capitals, I beg your pardon. And things haven't happened for me as far as mainstream cricket outside of India is concerned. I don't know why it hasn't happened. UV wasn't allowed to come back and play cricket in India after he played outside. So
but
I don't think it'll be.
That's such a dumb rule. I'm sorry, the BCCI. I love you guys, but please don't cancel me or my tickets to any stadium. But generally, it just does the world good. I know the whole financial thing is there, but you guys would have killed it in the BBL. You would have killed it in the CPL. I'm pretty sure you would have had so much more silverware around your house. And that's not even the talking point, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. As in, there are so many different perspectives for this, right? And it's unfortunate that it's what it is from a cricketer's point of view. I completely understand it from an administrator's point of view that you want to monopolize the biggest tournament in the world and kind of protect it as much as possible. But I think the IPL is too big right now. I don't think anything will ever come close to the IPL, to be very honest. All of the top players in the world come and play the IPL here and experience Indian conditions and get all the information about Indian conditions here. Why are they earning the most here in India? Because they have information about our conditions. You don't think from a human level, it doesn't bother us that as a cricketer in our league, we're not the highest paid cricketers. Come on, we should be as in, with all due respect to everybody else in the world, we should be the highest paid cricketers in our own league. You know,
as in, it really is. I mean, I just want to steer the conversation to Indian career essentially, because the last time we played for India was like nearly 10 years ago now, not to make you feel old or anything like that. But generally, 2015 was the last time. But why the hell did it fizzle out, Robbie? Because 46 ODI, 13 T20 internationals, but the format that you love the most, which is Test cricket, would you exchange that for one Test? Surely you would have.
Would I exchange what for one Test match?
Your 46 ODI games plus 13 T20 internationals.
No, I wouldn't.
For that one.
Really? No, I wouldn't. No.
But
I believe that
I
do, and at heart I'm a purist. And one of my things about pursuing my Test cap was I don't know if it'll happen or not. Right? I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I want to leave no stone unturned in that pursuit. Today, the amount of conviction I have with the knowledge of batting, the confidence I have with it, the ability to be able to serve my contemporaries, my peers, youngsters, anyone who wants to develop their game. I know what I can deliver to them when I do get into coaching at some point in my life. Right now, the fire to play cricket still burns very, very hot for me. While at the same time, I'm entertaining wanting to take on one-on-one coaching with the youngsters. I want to work. I'm in the process of working on a few things as far as coaching is concerned. Broadcast is something that I enjoy. Cricket's my passion, and I don't look back at anything in anything in my life and regret. And I haven't played Test cricket, so be it. It's fine. But would I exchange that fact for the journey that I've been on in that pursuit? Absolutely not. Because that journey has made me the human being that I am today, and I love who I am today.
Yeah, well said, Robbie. And it makes you really think about how things unravel in anyone's life. We'll talk about even the mental side of things in just a bit, your life in Dubai, and a few rapid fires to just close out this interview. But you've been part of many Indian cricketing moments. We spoke about the 2007, the ups and downs over there. But you also saw one certain Rohit Sharma score the 264. talk to me from a non-striker vantage point. How was it? And what were the words that you were kind of using to motivate him from the other end?
So it was a very hot Kolkata afternoon. So when I got to bat, it was 40 overs gone, 41 overs gone. Rohit was dog tired. You could see it, right? I could see it in his face. And I said to Rohit, just conserve energy and go hell for leather, man. And that's what we did. I just fed in strike. And if I got strike on the last ball of the over, I tried to get a 4 or a 6. But besides that, and that's when I saw my opportunity to score runs. But yeah, my job was to just kind of feed him strike and let him do his magic. And magic was what he created that day, man. I remember he played a shot to Kulasekara, so wide Yorker, and he just kind of stood where he was on middle stump and he flicked it with his wrists, converted into a full toss, took it later, flicked his wrist and went over, long on for 6. And I was standing there dumbfounded. I'm like, oh my god, what am I witnessing here? And it was truly magical. I was going gaga about it for like well into the night, and he actually, I think after a point felt awkward. He's like, dude, enough, man. I think there's a certain amount of magic that lies within that, and to kind of discover that magic is where the fun is. There are teams that try really hard to create that magic, and then there are teams that just let it all be, and then magic just happens.
Indeed, and we speak about magic. We've produced magical cricketers, some of who you've shared not just the dressing room with, but of course batted with them. Were there any sort of great stories you could tell us from that RCB dressing room, and particularly Virat?
I've actually seen Virat kind of evolve from a brash young Delhi boy to an evolved human being. The evolution has been quite tremendous, to be honest. Today, he's practically reaping what he's sown 15 years ago. And one of the things that has always stood out to me about Chiku has been his conviction in himself. When I listen to a young 19-year-old Virat Kohli, talking about himself or his conviction in himself, you'd get mortified. You'd be like, what is this dude talking about? But fast forward 10 years and you'll be like, okay, now that makes sense. And for me, that's the lesson, I think, in like even human psychology, that you might think that you know someone, but you don't know someone, because unless you have a deeper conversation beyond the surface of that conversation, you never really know what people mean when they say what they say. I'm like, I remember him saying this, and I'm like, wow, he saw it. He believed it before a lot of us even saw it. What he believed of himself in 2009, 13, 14, 15, 16 is when we started seeing what Virat saw and Virat spoke about in 2009. I don't say this often, but I don't think I've ever said it, but I think his level of conviction and manifestation is driven purely by his confidence in himself. And that could be a very Delhi thing.
Exactly. That was my next question. Do you think it's just because of a Delhi lad?
It could be a very Delhi thing. It could be that. But a lot of Delhi, a lot of these things, is all fluff and no stuff. But Virat showed us that there was stuff behind the talk as well. He is obsessed. I remember I went last year to interview some of the RCB boys, and finished his interview, and the next thing you know that he's in the gym, and he doesn't need to be, but he was there in the gym hashing out an hour-long workout before he went back and spent time with his family. So,
why can't the other cricketers kind of do that? Is it really hard to live up? Because he's just raised the bar on every level. How you eat, how you sleep, how you train, how you recover, how you rest, how you pretty much are doing well in terms of the finance side of the game. I mean, it's a real life lesson for the cricketers taking up a bat and ball these days, right?
But it's also far more deeper than that, don't you think? Because Maybe this was part of Virat's evolution as a soul. For him to pursue this excellence and become like a shining bright light for the rest of the world to look and feed out of, and take that little spark from him to set alight their own lives. And I'm certain he's done that, not just to cricketers, but also multiple people in different facets of life, right? So has Mahi, and so has Sachin Tendulkar, and so has Rahul Dravid, and
And do you
I think
believe in
Virat,
fate generally? Generally, I mean, because you
100%.
said you're spiritual.
You want to know if fate is real or not? Play cricket in India. You'll know how real fate is. Anyone who's
Yeah.
achieved anything in cricket, I don't think there'll be a person who will disagree with you about how much luck plays a factor, how much fate and destiny play a factor in your life.
Yeah, and I get that. Right, let's just end off by talking about a very, very important thing in terms of life and generally how even cricketers have kind of been coming out much more these days, which is good to see about mental issues. And how are you kind of seeing things back right now? And what is the way forward? What are the things that you would tell a youngster who's going through depression? Because it's obviously much more than what people think is just a term, depression, right?
Yeah, and I think that's very loosely used nowadays. I think at least in Indian cricket, I hope uh, you know the system, the infrastructure, the administrators actually set up a system in place, because kids don't complete education, man. They don't go to school to pursue a career in cricket. They, like 95% of our cricketers haven't finished school. New competition can spring up from anywhere. Hey, Virat Kohli didn't play the England series. Did anyone miss him? We won it for one. And that tells you a story about the Indian cricket ecosystem. Before something dire happens and then we act, we shouldn't be reactive. I truly believe we need to be proactive, especially when it comes to mental health, and set up systems in place. And I truly believe the NCA shouldn't just be a rehab center. There should be a separate rehab wing for rehabilitation. Like, pick out guys like me and guys who just come out of the game right now, to educate the youngsters as to how to go about life, because we've all made mistakes financially with the game, relationships. We've all made mistakes. Make them financially sound to help them make good financial decisions in life. Educate them with mental health as to how to deal with mental health. Set up systems in place to help people with mental health, both men and women alike. Teach them about you know how to deal with the media, how to have conversations. Teach them to improve on certain things, to be representatively beautiful. You know, um, and there's so many areas that we can actually add value if we actually value our cricketers, and believe in building a solid ecosystem.
Okay. Finally, just moving on to end proceedings because life in Dubai must be absolutely brilliant because we treat it as a destination to just go belt some amazing food and shop. But now you've moved there. Many people are saying that your real estate game is really strong. Your shawarma game is
Mm.
really strong. What else is really strong in Dubai?
um, well, it's got some of the best schools in the world, which is one of the primary reasons we moved there. I, as a father and a husband, wanted to provide the best education, primary education for my kids, the best that I could afford for them. And we can leave them with the capacity to have confidence in life. And I think one of the ways is by making the world a smaller place. And today, my son goes to a school where, in 24 kids that are there in his class, he's got 19 different nationalities. I have to tell you, I have to break a couple of myths about Dubai. Dubai as a tourist is very, very, very different to actually living in Dubai. It's genuinely not like, it's not a touristy place, honestly. The quality of life in living there is incredible. It's really, really nice. Having said that, it reminds me of the safety that I felt as a child in Bangalore, um, and then the safety I felt for my family, when I was a kid. You know, incredible food there, and I would say don't shop in Dubai, because you get the same brands in India for a lot less cheaper. So don't think, unless you're coming to the shopping festival, don't shop in Dubai.
No, 100%. Another thing that I, of course, observed in Dubai, when was the last time I was there, was paddle courts popping up. And it's such a fun sport. Do you play it?
I love paddle almost as much as I love cricket. I play it as often as I can. It is so
It's
much
so much
fun.
fun. Yeah, it's honestly so
I
much
would
fun.
I would
And
very happily do any paddle ambassadorship work in India or anywhere else. I'm damn happy to do it. I love the sport, dude. It's so much fun.
you're not like a big car guy or a house guy, but I'm pretty sure you've visited like 150 houses or something like that before settling down to one.
Yeah, so we got around a little bit. A lot of my cricketing gigs that I thought will actually happen didn't happen, and I had a lot of time, and I was like, okay, I need to upskill myself in other areas of my life because life has to move on. I have to evolve, and I may not be done with cricket. If cricket's done with me, then I need to have other options as well. So I started studying the real estate market, the investment market, the crypto market, like just studying everything.
Robbie, let's start the rapid fire. Your favorite ever cricket match that you played in?
Oh wow. That's a tough one, man. Ah, so much for a rapid fire question. I'd say my India Pakistan debut game in the World Cup.
Fair enough. One TV show or a movie that you watched recently that you'd recommend?
Have you watched? This is on YouTube. Yeah, it's a YouTube channel called Yeah Mad. So it's about they crack dad jokes, and if you laugh, it's a competition. So if you laugh, you have to take a shot. Uh, I absolutely love that. It's not a show, but it's something that I actually watch. Like it's called Yeah Mad. It's an Australian kind of uh, comic kind of channel.
Really quickly then, cricketing rapid fire. Who's your favorite IPL team? Every time the schedule comes up, who do you kind of really hope to win?
Oh, like you said, I'm a cricketing nomad. I just want a team that plays well to win. I like to see. I want to see the magic happen, and you can actually see it happen from the outside. And the magic often happens in CSK, in Gujarat Titans last couple of years. LSG have exercised that as well a little bit, even though they've had their troubles.
I agree. Just to finish up, with regards to which three cricketers do you feel can really rule the roost in the next 10 years? Worldwide.
Worldwide, oh man, uh, Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Rachin Ravindra.
Super. And last but certainly not least, Robbie, how did you think this interview went at cricket.com? And have you ever heard of us at all?
I'm like, dude, you guys have a very nice name, man. Cricket.com. There's like, could you be more like on the nose with that? I think beautiful. Whoever got that website from GoDaddy,
Man,
dude.
they landed a gold mine with the name. It's like you talk about the USP, cricket.com is the name to be. And good on you, Robbie. Thank you so much because you've been so modest. But like you said in the interview as well, you're one of those cricketers who've been truly ahead of the time, not just in terms of your reverse sweeping, but even in terms of your coaching. And now you've really stepped up your game, not just in the real estate sphere, but even as being a certified lifestyle coach. Thank you so much for doing this with us at cricket.com.
No, that's my absolute pleasure, man. I had a lot of fun chatting with you. I hope I didn't bore you all.
No, not at all. I mean, it was just a spectrum of different things, but amazing stories, and looking forward to kind of catching up with you sometime in the future as well.
Absolutely. Likewise, yeah.
Cricket, cricket.